we have an Ask Me Anything session with Bob Phibbs, otherwise known as the Retail Doctor. Bob, if you're not familiar, is a internationally recognized business strategist, customer service expert, sales coach, and motivational speaker. It also happens to be his birthday. So please join me in wishing him a very happy birthday in the chat and thanking him for being here on this special day. This is indeed an Ask Me Anything session, so please do ask Bob anything, either in the chat or using the Q&A tool. We also have a question for you, a polling question that you'll see here. We want to know how you're feeling right now. Compared to a year ago, today, are you feeling more hopeful or less hopeful about your business? So answer that when you get a chance, and please stick around to the end of this session. I know Bob has a special surprise for one lucky attendee, so you'll want to find out what that is and have your chance at being that lucky attendee. And without further ado, I will turn it over to Bob. Thank you so much for being here.
Well, thanks for having me, Lauren. I appreciate being here. The host has spotlighted your video for everyone. Oh my gosh, I better make sure I'm all good. Excellent. Well, I'm glad to be here. Well, this works best if you just type in something in the chat bar there. So you could start off with the poll. We've got that open now compared to a year ago. Do you feel more or less hopeful about your business? More or less hopeful? So take that little poll here real quick. I don't know how long we're going to leave that open, Lauren, but that would be great. But this only works if you ask me things, because I am not presenting. This is my birthday. I'm doing this on my birthday for you. So help me out here. Let me know what your questions are. I do a Facebook Ask Me Anything on Sunday mornings, typically on Facebook. And I certainly encourage you to find me there or follow me on LinkedIn. I don't know, we have 400,000 followers, and a lot of brands around the world seem to think that I've got some good ideas. So I would encourage you to check that, as well as my online retail sales training program. We're on 4 continents. We got the Retail Innovation Award last year for our work that we had done providing hope and inspiration and training during 2020. And so I encourage you to check out salesrx.com. Edwin is saying, I wonder how and where to get rid of old merchandise. A manager unsupervised order. Okay. I'm not sure if you're asking a manager or an unsupervised order a few hundred adult fitted tights that are not even being used right now. How do I get rid of these? So, I don't know that exact product because I'm not wearing them, but I would imagine that you could look at your other people who are on this call. Maybe they have it, put it up on your Facebook group and talk about maybe there's a way that you could transfer or divvy it up or do it as a promo with them. That would be my first thought, is that invariably when someone has something that they can't use, there's somebody else around that can. And that would be my encouragement, because just putting them on sale is probably not going to move them in significant orders when you have a few hundred adult fitted tights. So there you go. How important will websites be going forward, Susie? So if we learned anything about the pandemic, it is that you must have a website. And those of you who are thinking that this internet thing is going to go away, yeah, that's probably not going to happen. And I am not here to be your friend and tell you everything that you're doing great. People hire me because I'm usually the one that tells them the blunt truth about what's going on. And quite simply, 90% of all new purchases start on the web. So either you have a compelling and interesting website with resources that tell me things that help me get more out of your products, or you don't. And at the same time, if you do it well, and then you connect that with your Facebook and Google My Business, then you've got ratings up there. And the more ratings you have up there, the higher you show up on Google. It's really that simple. So you have to have one, and then you have to do a good job at it. Then you have to encourage people to give you reviews. They could be just stars, they could be lines. And then that way they go through and it actually helps you with your marketing. But make no mistake, we are in the era of we start online and then we go to a brick and mortar store, provided it looks like you are something different than the other guys. So just having some, cheap website that your friends, brothers, sons, daughters, buddy who they once knew, who can do it for $50 is probably not going to give you the website that you really want. So consider that, and then connect it with Shopify or some other ways you can do it. Lightspeed POS is another one that you can do it with, but there's a lot of ways you could do it. Just make no mistake, we aren't going backwards. And quite simply, your market is having new people, young people who are coming in, and they're going to be more digitally native anyway. So yeah, I think that that's really very important. Amy, happy birthday. Well, that's very good. Thank you very much. We always have trouble finding staff. Would love some feedback and tips on finding. I'm actually writing a blog right now, Amy. And what is the title? I've already got the title started. How to fix the reason it's so hard for you to get good help. The big thing is that I think a lot of times we approach hiring as, I'm going to put out this giant net, and then I'm going to get all these applications, and I'm going to weed through them. And this is the way we talk about it. Weeds are things to remove, right? So then we have an interview and it's almost like we have this checklist, like, well, they're not this, they're not this, they're not this, they're not this, they're not this. We'll let you know. And we forget that it's a dialogue, right? That when you're hiring somebody, it's a dialogue. You are convincing them that this is a great place to work, and they're convincing you that they're a great person to work there. And, people who are great employees tend to know other people who are great employees. So I'm a big believer of having a video on your page that talks about what a great team you are and the resources that you do there and how you're helping them set goals in their lives and different things. And if you're poo-pooing that already, Lululemon started that, 15, 20 years ago when they started. Every Sunday night, they meet for 1 hour, has nothing to do with the product, has nothing to do with the brand, other than they sit and they meet and talk about goal setting and how do you go through and achieve something more in life than just a paycheck. And I think the role for independence is there as well. You're entrepreneurs, Gen Z is the most entrepreneurial generation ever. They are positive, they're educated, and they're digital natives. And so how can you go through and say, this is what we're doing, rather than, okay, can you work any and all schedules? Are you already trained? Do you dance? And all the things that maybe are a way for us to limit people. And instead we look for people to respond to what we're giving. And then you could take that video and put that on your website. You could put it on your social media, but your goal is that you're showing where you're adding. That's the other thing, that you're not, we're replacing somebody. We're adding new shifts. We're excited to get going. Dance is picking up. TikTok has added a whole new market for us for tap or jazz or ballet or whatever it's going to be, and show it. And maybe you're going to do like Guitar Center did, which they realized that this is a very expensive initiative they did many years ago, and they made each of their employees at their own web page and talk about what they liked, and then had videos about, one guy is a DJ and he likes going out and setting up clubs, and another guy has his own studio, and a young woman is really passionate about the cello, or whatever it was. They could make a video and talk about what their specialties were, and you could actually email somebody from the website or chat with them right away. That's where we're going. So when people say, well, is the website going to be important? Yeah, but you can take all the things that make your store great and put them onto your website, and suddenly you're going to stand head and toes. You're going to stand on point above anyone else who carries similar merchandise, because make no mistake, there's always somebody cheaper. And if that's where you want to just sit and feel bad about, oh, someone's got it cheaper and someone else can get it, that doesn't matter. Because if your customer could get it there, they would have. They aren't your customer. The customer is the person that's right in front of you. The customer is the person who clicks on your website and sees that. And the same thing, that your internal customer is your employee. And so how good a job are you doing at selling it and making sure that you're not just judging them, that they're not perfect, but that they're trainable? Online retail sales training is a program that I sell. It's one of the biggest brands in the world, all the way down to the smallest mom and pops use. But I say, hire people who are trainable. Don't kid yourself that someone is trained. And the difference would be if I worked at Joe's coffee house. I live in upstate New York. Let's say I'm in Catskill, and I worked at Joe's coffee house, and I go to work for Starbucks. Are they just going to say, great, well, clock in and start making drinks? Of course they're not. because they're going to take you through the process to say, you're going to make our drinks. You're going to talk to people the way we do. You're going to value the values that we have. And we're going to give you this rigorous training so that you know what the guardrails are, but you also know how to succeed. And that's the other thing, is to be thinking about, how do you have a path to something more than a minimum wage job? Because quite simply, the people that you pay more generally are more trainable and are more reliable. And so if you're frustrated that you have high turnover and people aren't doing what you say, look at your pay scale as well, because when a Walmart or a Target can offer $13 or $15 an hour, my guess is you could too, but you just have this thing that they're not worth it. And so it's a matter of really tweaking your brain and saying, well, I need to see the potential, and then I need to train them. And then if they aren't trainable in 30 days, I got to move them on. But understanding that it's not a whittling down process as much as a building up. So I thank you for that, Amy. That gave me something to talk about this morning. Karen, what creative ideas have you used to get your foot in the door for a prospective customer? I'll tell you what I have done. I use a company, thanks Dance Media for my happy birthday. Karen, I go through, I wonder if I could actually show it to you. I probably could, but since I'm not running this meeting, I don't think I can share a screen. But I use a company called Bomb, and I make a video where I actually show that I am I'm on your website, and I think that there's my little face. So picture my happy face is.
Bob, you can share your screen if you'd like.
Well, that means I have to get ready for you, and I don't know that I'm really ready for you, so that I'm kind of like punting a little bit, but maybe I can do this. So give me one sec. Lauren, ask me, let's talk for a second while I find this so that I can get it up and ready.
All right.
So what were some of the issues that you came into this webinar with thinking we would talk about? How's that?
Well, we asked folks to submit questions when they registered. And so I was reading over those. And the one that I kept thinking that I wanted your take on actually was about TikTok.
Okay, good. I will speak about that. That's good. Okay. Yeah. I'm still looking. I'm like, please, come on. I have all sorts. Oh, there's one. This would be, so I will show you an example of what I have used. How do I do this though? Do I see it? Do I preview it? That's what I do. Okay, good. So let me show you what I do, because I think this is a game changer and it's probably going to cost you some money. So I am not a big believer in saying, oh, it's free. You get what you pay for. So let me show you what I do. Who asked me this question? Emily? No. Karen, there's Karen. So you can all do this pretty easily. And in fact, I'm doing a challenge before I forget, April the 19th and 22nd, where I'm gonna be sharing an awful lot of ways that you could build a kick-ass sales team that sells their heart out. And so I will encourage you to go to Retail Doctor, follow me on Facebook, and I'll have the details up there after Easter, but not before. All right, let's see if we can do this. Let's see if we can show you. So I use a company called, and share the sound. Hopefully you'll hear it. I use a company called Bomb, and Bomb. So Lauren, you're going to tell me, do you see something that says play 44 second?
Yep.
Perfect. So what I have done is I have made an on-screen video. And what I've done is I'm talking to this guy who reached out to me for a speech, but the process is still the same. If I was going to a vendor or I was going to a retailer, I would still make something like this. And it's only 44 seconds. And with any luck, you'll actually be able to hear it. So I think we're good. Let's see if this works. Hey, Jim, it's Bob Phibbs, the Retail Doc. I just tried to reach you, but I got your voicemail. And you're not that far away from me. I'm down in Coxsackie across from Hudson. And I got your invitation about August 11th. I don't know if that's going to be an in-person event there at your store, but I come from a long line of fixers and do-it-yourselfers, and I replumbed my first house in Long Beach, California. My brother actually ran I think he was a Century Hardware back then, but that was till about 2000 or so. So in any event, I look forward to hearing more about your event, look forward to hearing more about your store. You can either find a time below by clicking that CTA or just reply to this and let's chat. I'll look forward to talking to you then. Thanks. Bye. So why do I do that? Well, one, it's personal. Once I know who my audience is, this is a hardware store. And I also made sure I had that little link. You could find a time to speak with me. So you don't have to go that back and forth of, send me some times that work for you. You can click right then. And the other thing that's really fun is, I'm going to stop sharing, is that he can go through and he can actually reply to me with a video. And Jim actually sent me an email immediately. And he was like, dude, you are the man. And I was like, yeah, it's just a company called Bomb, like two of them in a row. There's another one called Vidyard, but it's how you use it is the point. Notice I had a story about hardware stores in there. Notice it was a matter of him seeing my face and him. So you think he's gonna open that? Of course he is. And then it's under a minute. So you want to be memorable. There's some story that you can talk about. And him, I was talking about plumbing my first house. And that's how you get in the door, because your goal is for them to call you. You don't want to be begging them. I find that when you have to pull them into the boat, you got to drag them around the lake, and that's not fun. I only want to work with people that want to work with me. There's an awful lot of people who do speaking around retail. There's a lot of people that call themselves experts. A lot of people that do sales training programs, but there's a reason why brands come to me. There's a reason why I'm different, is because I'm always trying to figure out, how do I go through and open my heart to another human being? And when you master that, they come to you. But if you just want to send an email, hi, we have a new product I think you'd really like, nothing memorable. So I hope that you do that, because that's something I've been using for a while now. And Lauren, you've promised me that none of my competitors will ever see this, right? Because I will end up burning your Zoom account down. Okay. I don't know. Can we do that? I don't know. Is that visual?
Since it's your birthday, sure.
That's right, because my birthday, the birthday candles, I knew there was something there. By the way, thanks for liking my shirt. This is a shirt that I got. Quick story, I got this in Saks Fifth Avenue actually in Palm Desert, California, 3 years ago. Robert Graham. And by the way, the back is crazy. And I walked in and I saw this shirt on like a wall. And I was like, yeah, I love that shirt. That's great. And I tried it on. And as soon as I tried it on, people were like, that's an amazing shirt. I was like, oh, thank you. Went to find my size. It was 40% off. And I laughed because nobody had ever encouraged someone to try it on. And everywhere I go with this shirt, people are always like, that's an amazing shirt. Now, maybe they're lying to me, but a lot of people seem to think, wow, that really looks good on you. It's different. It's interesting. How much of your merch sits there because we don't end up getting someone to try it on, or we don't go for the second pair of shoes, or we don't go for the accessory? We're caught up in that asked and answered retail. Look, people go online to buy. We go into a store to discover. Yes, you have fit. I'm an old shoe dog. I made my living in college. I put myself through college selling men's shoes. And then I transitioned when I didn't become a conductor, which is what I went to college for, and business minor. I sold cowboy clothes, cowboy boots. But at the end of the day, the goal, if you have any kind of apparel, is get them to try it on. I know some of you probably are going on, but COVID. It's like, get over yourself. We are going to have the best back to school in a generation. You have to be ready for that. That means your store you better take everything else down to the, I almost said to the studs, but I would take everything out of my store. I would ruthlessly clean it. And I'm talking about that little dust bunnies, that dust line that goes around the side of your wall and under all of your fixtures. I would go through and paint any wall white so that I could go through and get some light into it. I would make sure all my fixtures were relamped and go through and be prepared for the next 6 to 18 months that are going to be lights out spectacular. But just having more crap that I have to figure out, no, you're going to have to take from the big boys and big girls who have figured it out and said, curate my assortment, draw their attention, make it so that I am piquing their interest instead of just looking like we're shopping in a warehouse. I think I probably went on too long on all of that. So let's get to more of your questions. I hope that helped. If that helped, let me know. Put a thumbs up. Let me know that you like that. Did that work for you? Yes. If you like that, give me a yes in comments. That'll only take you a second. And why do I ask for that? Because it's very simple. The brain is going to sleep while you're on Zoom. Did you not know that? Your brain is kicking in. It's that brain that when you suddenly get into the driveway after driving home, you're like, how did I get home? It's because your brain said, we got this. The rest of you go to sleep. Old brain is going to take over. And so that's why I'm going to ask you to type in or do something or keep the mind going, because otherwise it's in one ear and out the other. And then you get off of this webinar with us and it's like, what'd you learn? I don't know. Bob had a funny shirt on. I don't know. All right, there you go.